Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Draw with Rob. With me, hang on, I'm going to go inside this time. Let's have a look at the picture. There we go, me and Ringo. Yeah, it's appropriate that I show you a picture of me and Ringo, seeing as this book is called Amazing Animals. The brand new Draw with Rob activity book, which has just come out. You can get this now. Hurrah! In fact, if you hang around to the end of this video, I am going to show you inside the book. I'll show you in a bit more detail. But it's a pretty cool book. It's a pretty cool book, even if I do say so myself. But my name is Rob Biddulph. You might know that. You might not. But I am a children's author and illustrator. Here's a couple of my books. This one is called Odd Dog Out. It's all about a sausage dog that doesn't fit in with the other sausage dog. So she disappears off to find a place where she does fit in. Look, everyone looks just like her. And in the process of doing that, she realises you don't need to fit in. It's far more important to be yourself. Or maybe you've seen this picture book. This was my second picture book. It's called Grrr, and it's all about a bear called Fred, a gold medal winning bear called Fred, who loses his growl. That's a fun one. And this one here, dropping my books. This one here is my very first chapter book called Peanut Jones and the Illustrated City, which is about a girl called Peanut who finds a magic pencil. Whatever she draws with this pencil, it becomes real. She's got a very cool bandolier that she wears with all her art equipment in it. And she disappears off into this illustrated, totally illustrated world. Let's see if I can show you something fun from this illustrated world. Oh, look, she meets... Some of you might have drawn this alligator with me before. There's a video, I can't remember which number it is, something like 103, I think. And this alligator's name is Jonathan Higginbottom. Of course it is, talking alligator who wears a bow tie. So she meets all sorts of interesting and cool characters, superheroes too. But there you go, you can see there she is. She's inside a painting in this illustrated world. And it's a really fun story, and it's the first of a trilogy. So keep an eye out for book 2, which comes out September 2022, I think. But we are here today, as per usual, to do a little drawing. And because this book here has just come out, I thought we would draw an animal which is featured in the book. Now, we've got a sort of section in the book here, which is, we're showing some animals that live in Africa. And I thought today that I would show you how to draw this guy here, this cheetah. Cheetahs obviously live in Africa, on the grassy savanna plains of Africa. And you know what? I think this is my favourite animal that I've drawn in the entire book. And I haven't got, in the book, there's lots of draw-alongs, as you can see. There we go. We've got a draw-along of a leopard, but there isn't a draw-along of a cheetah in the book. So I thought today, because the book has just come out, I would show you how to draw this cheetah in a video. Does that sound like a good plan? Please say yes, because that is what I'm doing. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you how to draw the cheetah, the fastest land animal in the world. That's what they're famous for. Mainly, I would say they can run at speeds of up to 70 miles an hour. Did you know that? And so they were always, when I was younger, I think cheetahs were like one of my favourite animals because they're just so beautiful, aren't they? The big cats, lovely patterns, and they're cool because they're super fast. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to draw a cheetah. Now, if you haven't done a Draw with Rob video with me before, this is how they work. Because lots of people don't think they're very good at drawing, I decided that I would try and give people a bit of a helping hand and prove to them that they can draw. Okay, so what I do is I break these drawings down into bite-sized pieces, little tiny shapes and lines and elements that are very easy to draw. And when you put them all together, they make a nice finished drawing of a cheetah, or whatever animal it is that we're drawing that day. So what we do is I draw my little shape here on my piece of paper. You can pause your video, just copy what I do. Doesn't have to be exactly the same, just roughly copy what I do. Start me up again, I'll draw a bit more. Pause it, you draw. Start me up, I draw, you draw. I draw, you draw, I draw, you draw, I draw, you draw. And you're going to end up with a nice drawing. You get the idea. You've done these before, I'm sure of it. What you're going to need is a piece of paper, a pen or a pencil, and maybe something to colour with if you've got something to colour with lying around. If you haven't, don't worry, you don't need to colour these in. You can just shade them in with a pencil, that's absolutely fine. I love drawing in just pencil actually. So don't worry too much about it. But that's all you need, and I reckon this might take you half an hour or so, maybe an hour if you're going to do some really careful colouring, but not long at all. Right, shall I stop talking and shall we start drawing? I think we should. Right, so our cheetah. Right, we're going to start, I think, with the head of our cheetah. So what I want you to do, I think the trickiest part of this drawing is actually the head, the very first part of our drawing today. So what I want you to do is sort of right up towards the top of your piece of paper, maybe slightly over to the right, we are going to draw a sort of curvy shape. So we're going to start by coming down, we're going to go around, and then, well, let's just do that to start with. Let's break this down into little tiny bits and pieces, shall we? So it's sort of like we go down and then we sort of head off a little bit to the left. Okay? Then from there, what I want you to do is we're going to curve down and we're going to sort of go horizontally across the page for about 1 centimetre or so. So we've just added a little sort of kink to the end of our line, like that. Okay? Then we are going to turn around, head off up the page like that. Again, just 1 centimetre. This is a nice sort of, this is a very, normally the drawings that we do, they're very big, you know, my characters tend to have very big heads and smaller bodies because we sort of do cartoon versions, but this one's slightly more in proportion. We're going to do quite a small head for our cheetah and a nice long body because they have got these lovely long bodies, and the cheetah that I drew in my Draw with Rob book, I sort of accentuated that actually, because that's what I like to do with animals. You sort of, when you're doing cartoon versions of animals, you can sort of exaggerate certain features that make them that are the bits that I think give that character its kind of visual personality. I sort of exaggerate those bits. So with the cheetah, I'm going to give them a really long body because I always think of them as really sort of super lean and sort of super long. So that's why the head that we're drawing now is so small and fiddly. Okay, stop talking, start drawing, Rob. Right, so from this point, what I want you to do next is we're going to sort of turn around and we're going to go diagonally up towards the sort of upwards and rightwards diagonally, like that. Okay? And then, this is a fun bit, we're just going to go around in a little loop, like that. So a nice little loop. Isn't that a funny shape? It looks sort of like a worm, like a worm's head with this long wormy tail coming out, but that's not what it is. In fact, this bit here that we've just drawn is going to be our cheetah's eye. So let's add a little dot in the middle. That's going to be our cheetah's right eye. Let's give them another eye, shall we? So over here, a centimetre or so away, we're going to draw another circle, the same size. Again, with a smaller circle coloured in black in the middle of it, like that. Okay, and that's going to help you actually. Sometimes it's quite nice to visualise the finished drawing, and by putting the eyes in early on, it gives us a nice sort of a landmark in the drawing, a sort of an area that we are familiar with, so we can sort of draw everything around that and it will make sense in our brains. You'll see what I mean now, because what we do now is just behind that eye, we're going to do a little line that just comes up there like that, and then we're going to draw the top of the head, and the top of our head is going to come up, curve around and head over here, but we're going to stop about there when we get level with that very first mark that we made on our piece of paper. And then from this point we're going to draw our ear. So the ear of a cheetah sort of comes out like that, and it's sort of rounded, a bit like a sort of teddy bear's ear. And we're going to join back up there. It sort of goes out at a right angle to the right. And let's add, while we're doing one ear, we might as well add the other ear, a bit like we did with the eye. So this ear is obviously like a mirror image. It's going to be coming out of that side, and then it's going to disappear in there behind the eye. Okay, so that is the structure of our cheetah's head. Now, we can make a bit more sense of it because of the brilliant and beautiful markings that a cheetah has on its face. Now, they have this sort of, as well as all their spots, they also have this sort of, well, first of all, what I'm going to do, I'm going to actually make the surrounding bit of our cheetah's eye a bit thicker with my black pen. Let's do both of them, because quite often they have sort of black markings around their eye, and that is to deflect the glare of the sun. If you have a sort of a black surround around your eye, it acts a bit sort of like sunglasses, but not like sunglasses. It just sort of helps with the glare of the sun, because obviously cheetahs, as I said earlier, they live on the big wide savanna plains in Africa where it's very, very hot and very, very sunny. And so in order to kind of see their prey, whatever it is they're chasing, these black surrounding bits around their eye help them with the sun in there, the problem with the sun in their eyes, you see. That's apparent. I just read that fact. It's not that I know everything about cheetahs, I just read this fact and I thought it was quite interesting. And they also have this sort of tear-shaped mark that comes down from their eye, like this, goes around their snout and just sort of disappears into their jawline, like that. And actually that's very useful when it comes to drawing a cheetah, because it really, again, it sort of helps to give your face some structure early on. So add a little sort of teardrop line as if it's coming out the corner of their eye and just running down their face like that. And it also helps to define our cheetah's jaw. And another thing that's going to help us with this cheetah's face is adding the nose. So what I want you to do, I draw noses in a very specific way. First thing I'm going to do is here, I'm going to draw a sort of rectangle at a very slight angle, like that. So slightly twisted, like that. And the way that I do nostrils, as you guys know if you've drawn with me before, is I do little swirly bits coming off the main part of the nose to the side. So one on that side, and one on that side. And that's our cheetah's little nose. Then coming down from the middle of that nose, we do a vertical line like that. And underneath that, we're going to give our cheetah a nice smiley mouth. There we go. Pretty cool cheetah's head, isn't it? It already looks like a cheetah. Amazing. My little tip to make a thing look like an animal, add 4 little dots either side of that line and look, whiskers. Now the only other thing really to add to this face is an eyebrow and some spots, but I am going to do all of my cheetah spots right at the end after I've done the yellow colouring for my cheetah, because quite often when you use a pen like this, if I was to do all my spots now and then colour over it with my yellow pencil, it would smudge all the ink in the yellow because it's a very light colour yellow, and it would be very fiddly to colour around all those spots. So the best thing to do is colour all the yellow and then put your ink over the top of that. So there we go. Sometimes with drawing you have to do a little bit of planning ahead, you see. Okay, let's start our cheetah's body, shall we? Now, what we need to do now, remember I said I'm going to make the body really sort of elongated. We're going to have to do a great big long curvy line now. So what you need to do is from the point where the jawline touches that sort of teardrop shape, so about there, I want you to start heading down your page. Not quite vertically, a slight angle, and then when you're sort of about halfway down your page, we're going to start heading outwards like this, and then we're going to curve back in to a vertical line, and then we're going to stop there. We're going to need to leave about 3 or 4 centimeters at the bottom of your page because we have to fit something in down at the bottom of the page. But that is going to be basically the nice curvy smooth shape of our cheetah's back. And from the bottom of that, we are going to go horizontally across the page, 5 or 6 centimeters, like that. Believe it or not, this is going to be our cheetah's back foot. And we're going to draw our cheetah sitting down today. I did think about doing cheetah in mid-running pose, but I thought actually it might be nice to do our cheetah sort of posing for the camera and sitting down, a bit like I did in the Draw with Rob book I showed you earlier, that picture I showed you earlier. Okay, from the end here, we're going to head up our page just half a centimetre or so, and then we're going to go curve around and we're going to head horizontally about halfway back, about halfway across that line we just drew there. And then at this point we're going to go up and curve around like that, and that is going to be our cheetah's back leg in sitting down pose. Okay, let's go back up to the head here and do the other side of our body. So we're going to start here from the point where our ear joins the jaw, okay? And we are going to come, let's work this out. We're going to come down the page again in a nice smooth curve all the way down. Well, no, actually not all the way down. Let's stop about there. So stop just before you get level with the top of this back leg here. And the reason that we're stopping is we need to add a front leg to our cheetah. So what we're going to do is we're going to go up about 1 centimetre from where we just stopped that line, and we're going to draw a straight line that comes down at an angle like that. and we're going to do another one next to it about 1/2 centimetre away, like that. And then this one is going to go a bit further and stop level with the bottom of our cheetah's foot, like that. It's quite a tricky one, this. It's quite a tricky one. It's quite a tricky one to explain, actually. So I hope you're following me. Okay, from this point, horizontally, but just short line this time, 1 centimetre long. Then let's go up and across and join back up with that line. And there you go, you can see we've done a front leg of our cheetah. Now, let's carry this tummy line, but we'll imagine that it's gone through and past that front leg. It's going to curve back around and we're going to disappear in there behind the back leg. So again, this is another element of drawing. You have to sort of plan ahead sometimes. If I was doing this in pencil, what I might have done is drawn that entire curve in one go and then just rubbed out that little bit when I did the front leg. So maybe if you're using pencil, that's quite a good way to do it. But because I'm doing it in pen, I have to think ahead and I have to stop, draw that leg and then carry the line on, you see. Let's do the back legs, both of the back legs. We'll do the back, when I say back legs, I mean the sort of the ones further away from the camera. I guess this is right, let's change the way I describe this. This is the back leg, this is the front leg. So this is the back right leg, this is the front right leg. The back left leg needs to sit in behind here. So what we're going to do, we're going to sort of recreate this shape by coming down there, stopping about there, and then we're going to do that. You see what I mean? We're sort of echoing that shape, but we're doing it behind the other legs. Similarly, with the front leg, we are going to come down here. We're going to draw exactly the same shape as the other front leg, but we're going to stop it sort of fractionally above it to make it look like it's in the background. But we're literally going to draw the same shape. So whatever you did for your other front leg, you're doing here. But it's just slightly higher up in your drawing, and it makes the perspective kind of work. Let's carry this foot on behind there just a little bit, and there we go. That just sort of completes that part of the drawing. So can you see I've done a very elongated cheetah shape here, perfectly designed for running very fast, perfectly streamlined. And another part of the cheetah's design, which really helps with running, is of course the tail. They have this huge, long, very sort of muscular, very strong tail, which functions, essentially it functions like a rudder on a boat. So it really helps with their steering and their control when they're running super fast. The tail sort of balances them out and can help them turn sort of quickly when they're chasing their prey, you see. So it's super, super important to a cheetah, the tail. So it's super, super important for us to make a good job of our drawing. What I want you to do from the bottom area here of the cheetah, we're going to do nice smooth lines here for the tail. We're going to come down, head back out here, turn around, and our tail's going to sort of curl around here and stop around about there. Now I'm going to go back on our tail like that, but before I do, I'm just going to add a few little kind of furry bits like that. Excuse me, on the end of the tail. Then I'm going to follow our curve back, but it's going to get gradually thinner as it gets nearer to the part of the cheetah where the tail springs from, like that. And there we go, a perfect cheetah tail. And do you know what? I thought this was going to be tricky, but actually it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. And that's pretty much the entire outline of our cheetah. And I think we're ready to start colouring. And then when we come back from the colouring, that's when I'm going to talk you through the spots and things like that, because we can have a lot of fun doing the spots, okay? So I'm going to go into super speed mode to colour my cheetah in now, and I will be back here with you in 20 or 30 seconds, okay? So, you ready? Here I go. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Okay, so I finished colouring my cheetah in the sort of yellows and the oranges, and you can see I've done some nice shading. So the rear legs, I see you sort of add a bit of darker shading in the areas that just go behind the body and behind the other leg here, and that's sort of what that does. It pushes those bits back in your drawing, those darker areas, by adding a bit of shadow here and there, and just makes your drawing look a little bit more three-dimensional. And I've done my usual trick of adding lots of lines that sort of follow the contours of the body, which helps with the sculpting of the body as well in terms of the drawing, and also just makes your animal look a little bit kind of furrier. But now it's time for the fun bit. We're going to add the spots. Now, I guess because it's Draw with Rob, you don't have to add spots to your cheetah. You could do stripes or something if you want, but then it might look a bit like too much like a tiger. You could add stars, maybe a starry cheetah. That might be really fun. But of course, you know what I'm like. I'm just going to add the regular spots. I'm going to try and sort of stick true to nature. Before I do that, I'm going to add some eyebrows here. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to add a sort of little lozenge shape above that eye. And can you see what I mean? This is why I left it till now to do it. It goes on top of my yellow coloured pencil really, really nicely, my black pen. But if I had done it the other way around, the pencil would have smudged all this. So that's why I did it like that. And the other thing to do just before we start adding spots is at the end of their tails, weirdly, they do have stripes. They have sort of 3 or 4 sort of quite thick stripes at the ends of their tails, cheetahs. Have a look at photographs online and you'll see what I mean. So here we go. I'm just going to add 3 little stripes there, and then I will do the rest sort of spotty. But I'm going to start doing my spots now, but you don't need to see me draw all these spots. So I'm going to go, oh actually before I do that, I'm just going to draw some claws. That's the other thing we need to do. So what we do, just do 3 little lines at the ends of each of the feet, like that. Can't see the one at the back there, but there we go, little claws. And apart from that, all I've got to do now is add some spots. So I'm going to go into super speed mode to add my spots, but it's up to you how many you do, whether they're big or small, or as I say, if you want to do star shapes, something like that, that might be quite fun. But I'm going to add lots of different size ones here, but I'll be back in about 5 or 10 seconds with a fully spotty cheetah. So here I go, 3, 2, 1, let's do this. Okay, and there we go, a lovely spotty cheetah. Again, I've stuck to kind of where these are the areas that you usually do find spots on cheetahs. So across their back, they don't usually have any on their sort of tummy, the fronts of their legs like that, and as I said, the tail's nice and spotty, and then just those 3 kind of stripes at the end. And then we do a few just kind of top of the head, just coming over the top of the head, and a couple kind of on the cheeky bits there, not so much on the ears or on the actual snout itself. But there we go, there's my cheetah. I love this drawing actually, I'm really proud of this one. It's a nice characterization. You can see how I've elongated it, but I just think it feels very kind of cat-like and very cheetah-like. And I hope you're as pleased with your drawings as I am with mine. Now I'm going to sign mine here, Rob. I'm just going to write Rob this time. Trying so carefully not to smudge my drawing, and I've actually managed it. I've got to the end of the drawing without smudging it at all. One thing I forgot to mention, shadow. You can see I've added my usual little shadow area with some darker bits right next to where the areas that touch the ground, like that. It just helps with the kind of the sort of making your drawing look nice and solid. And there we go. That's how you draw a cheetah as featured in the Draw with Rob Amazing Animals book. Let's have a look at my one in here. So what I've done here, the page in here is a dot-to-dot drawing. Where is it? Where's my animals? In my Africa section. Here we go. Oh no, that's another one. There's another page in there where you can, there's the cheetah, a cheetah outline, similar to the one that we do, but I said you can add your own patterns to all of these different animals. We've got leopards and tigers and snow leopards and jaguars and things like that. But where is it? Where is it? Here we go. There's our cheetah. That's not bad, is it? That's pretty close to the cheetah that I drew in the book. Not a million miles away, quite pleased with that. But yes, the dot to dot there, you have to add the tail and you have to add the lion's mane and stuff like that. So as featured in the Draw with Rob Amazing Animals book, our cheetah. Now I want to see your drawings. I can't wait to see your drawings. So what you need to do is get somebody to take a picture of your drawing and then post it online using this hashtag Draw with Rob. That way I will get to see it, and I can't wait to see your drawings this week. So do share them with me, please. I'd love to see it, and then I'll make a grid up, a random selection of the drawings that I get to see. I'll put in a grid at the end, and you can get to see how everybody else did. So that's the good thing about drawing, isn't it? It's a community. We're all in it together, and it's lovely to see what everybody else does. Okay, right. What else can I tell you? Yes, hang around to the end of this video and you'll have a sneak peek inside the brand new Draw with Rob Amazing Animals book. Even more of a look inside. I've shown you quite a bit already, but you can have a little bit. You can look a little bit deeper inside the book if you hang around to the end. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe to my channel and turn your notifications on. Otherwise, you can subscribe to my newsletter to get all the latest updates from me before anybody else does about books and live events and Draw with Rob videos and all that sort of thing, and merchandise. There's some merchandise coming your way quite soon. And that's about it. I think that's all I have to tell you. I'm going to be back very soon with another Draw with Rob video. In the meantime, take care of yourselves, everybody. Keep those pencils sharpened, keep on reading, and keep on drawing. And I will see you again very soon. Bye, everyone. Hello everyone, just when you thought you got rid of me, here I am again, popping up at the end of your video to annoy you. And I'm here today to tell you all about this, the brand new Draw with Rob activity book. And it's called Amazing Animals. And that's because it's full of loads of amazing animals. It's true, it really is. We've got little ones, like this guy here. We have got some really big ones. We have got animals that live in the sea. We have got animals that spend most of their time up in the sky. And of course, there's loads and loads of really, really cute ones. What's in the book, I hear you ask? Well, we have got loads and loads of really cool and quite tricky puzzles for you to do. We've got some pages where I start the drawings off and you guys get to finish them. We have got lots of really, really nice colouring pages for you to do too. And of course, it wouldn't be a Draw with Rob book without lots of exclusive, never before seen draw-alongs. And I've got the frames as per usual for you to put the pictures in. And of course, all the pages are perforated. So once you've done your beautiful works of art, you can tear them out and stick them up on the wall and display them for all to see. And then when you get to the end of your book, look, we've got a really cool certificate. You put your name in there and it says, this is to certify that your name is officially an amazing animal artist. Isn't that cool? The book is out right now. You can get it right now from wherever you get your books, be it online or from your local bookshop, if you can, please. It was so much fun to put this book together. I really, really loved doing it. I really, really hope you love the book too. I think if you like these videos, I think you're going to love this book, to be honest. So get yourself a copy. If you do, let me know what you think of it. Right, I better let you go. You've got to get on with your day, haven't you? I'm going to be back very soon with another Draw with Rob video. In the meantime, everybody, keep those pencils sharpened, keep on drawing, keep on reading, and take care. Bye-bye.